I know what this person is getting at because they've been getting at this for the last 40 years. I don't know if it would work for physics papers. It barely works for philosophy papers, honestly, but I think it's a good motivation. The aspiration is in the right direction. I don't think that's true for grant proposals. In fact, I would say the opposite should be true. One of the things I've long thought is that there should be basically two kinds of funding that funding agencies do. One kind is, how good has your research been? If it's been good, we'll give you money. You don't even have to send in a proposal. Like, if you want money and your research has been good, we will give you the money because you're a good researcher. And then maybe, you get renewed every 3 years, and if in those 3 years you didn't do anything, you get a warning. The funding agency says, we sure hope you're really cooking up a blockbuster there because you haven't done anything for the last 3 years, and in the next 3 years, if you still don't do anything, you're cut off. But maybe you've taken the time to actually do a blockbuster, which is hard to do. The current system, where you have to pretend to, as a theoretical physicist, there's an ongoing joke, a long-running joke about theoretical physicists writing grant proposals, because the grant proposals always want you to explain exactly what you're going to do. If you're building an experiment or doing observations, that's a possible ask. You can tell what your plan to build is. If you're a theoretical physicist, you have no idea what you're actually going to do for the next 3 years. You can say, I'm interested in these problems, but if you knew how to solve them, you would have solved them already. So very often you end up kind of lying. You basically take what you have most recently done and pretend to have not done it yet and say, I plan to do this. And then you can be very specific about what you plan to do because you've already done it. And there's this weird kabuki theater back and forth that people go through. And it's a tremendous waste of time. People put a lot of effort into writing grant proposals. The acceptance rate is not very good. If there's someone who has clearly been doing super good work for over a decade, why are you putting them through this, pretending that they're going to do something that either they've already done or they're just guessing at? It's just a complete waste of very, very, very valuable resources in my mind. So I think that established researchers should be able to just get money on the basis that they have been doing good work without trying to guess what they're going to do next. And then there should be another track, right? That's one track. The other track is you're not established, or you're an established researcher, but you're planning to do something completely different, right? So new territory grants. And there, it would make perfect sense to get rid of information about expertise or institution or anything like that, because you're really proposing, I would like to do this new thing. And maybe it's because you're young and it's the first thing you've ever done. Maybe it's because you're older and you're trying to do something new. But in any way, you're not being evaluated on your recent accomplishments. You're being evaluated on the potency of your proposal. That's a different kind of thing. I think that's also very good. But it shouldn't be the only thing. I will say, for the cynics out there, I've sat on plenty of grant review committees, right? For the DOE, the Department of Energy, for the National Science Foundation, for the Guggenheim Foundation, or whatever. You read these proposals and you decide who to give money to. And in my experience, there's been plenty of very high reputation people who did not get funding from the committees I was on because they had kind of phoned it in their grant proposal, right? And I felt kind of guilty about it because I bet they will do good work and they probably deserve money to do it, but given the criteria we were given, their proposals were not as good as some young unknown person, and so the young unknown person got the money. And that I think that the people who have not been in that situation, being on the grant review committee, probably underestimate the seriousness of how people who are on those committees really address their task. I've heard similar things about juries, in criminal procedures. People are always surprised that the people who are sitting on the jury actually take their job really seriously. And they, once you're in that situation, it's kind of an argument for sortition as a way to pass legislation. Like, once you're in that position of responsibility, you actually kind of try your best, whatever that is. Maybe your best isn't that great, but you try your best to be free of bias, etc. So I don't think that particular move on the NIH's part sounds very promising to me. David Harper says, as a professor, do you think the student as customer mentality is a real thing at universities, and do you think it could possibly be a good thing? What onus should be placed on students? I am not an expert in educational policy or the current American university, etc., so I can only talk about my own personal experience. And my own personal experience is I've never seen that philosophy, that mentality at all. None of the places I have been have thought of their students as customers. In fact, I don't know how people envision what actually happens in universities. But very large extent, faculty members do whatever they want. Faculty members teach the courses they want, or at least maybe the department, which is their other faculty members, assigns them certain courses to teach, but they do so using the